I'm Ashley.
And I'm Brady.
And we are the Cinema Twins, broadcasting live from Georgia College on WGUR 95.3 The Noise.
Welcome, movie fans. Today we have a big show for you. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about some movies that we saw over Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone had a good break with their families. We're going to talk about the Batman vs. Superman trailer that dropped on Jimmy Kimmel. And then we have some good movies on Netflix that y'all can check out. People, Places, Things, and The Babadook. And then we have some movies that you might have missed, such as City of God and Fruitvale Station. We're really excited to discuss these with you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We saw Mockingjay Part 2 and The Good Dinosaur over the break. Ashley, what did you think about Mockingjay?
Well, I did like it, but at the same time, it was a little bit of a letdown from the last one, and especially Catching Fire, which has been my favorite book and my favorite movie in the series. I just thought that what Francis Lawrence did with Catching Fire was he stabilized the camera, and he was, through doing that, it brought us into the story more, and I really thought that the camera work was so much better in Catching Fire, and I feel like in Mockingjay Part 1, a little bit in Part 1, and especially in Part 2, it's almost like they went straight back to that shaky cam stuff that they had in the first Hunger Games, which I did not like, and it was hard for me to tell what was going on at some points, but even at the same time, the way the story played out, even having read the books, I feel like if you hadn't read the books, it was really predictable, and I feel like you could have easily seen what was going to happen.
Yeah, I really agree. And the thing about this last movie is that I really wanted it to be a great finale for this series that I've loved the entire time. I read the books before the first movie came out. I loved them, every single one of them, with Catching Fire also being my favorite. But in this last one, I also feel like it wasn't as good. My main problem with it, I didn't, notice a lot of shaky cam like you are saying that you saw.
You didn't in the cave scene?
That was my favorite scene.
Oh, I did not like it.
However, we won't talk about the scenes in the movie or anything. No spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the movie or read the book. However, I am a strong believer that they should have just kept the Mockingjay. They should have kept Mockingjay just one movie. It's this trend that's going around now where obviously they want to make more money, so they're going to split the last book into two movies. However, this one just did not need it. It was uncalled for. The book is not that long. Mm-mm. There's a lot in it, but it was things that they could have put into one movie, and I think the quality of the movie would have increased greatly if they would have just kept it one film and hit all the main points. And I also feel like it would have been less predictable that way because they would have had less filler that they needed to do. And so you would have been more surprised when twist or something crazy happens in the movie. So yeah, I liked it. It was okay. Mm-hmm. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a decent end to the series. But Catching Fire will always be the best one.
And I did like the ending. I liked the way that they ended it out with the same way it ends in the books. It was concise and just a good end to the story. And I liked the way they executed it in the movie. But like I said, just the overall shaky cam came back in a big way for me. I know that I don't know, but yeah, same thing though. It was just okay, I wish it could have been better.
Yeah, it wasn't it didn't blow me away or anything, but I also didn't hate it. I'm not sitting here oh, this was the worst movie I've ever seen, anything like that. I mean, I thought it was good. It's decent, it did the books justice. So it worked for me, but it's not something that I'm going to go see a million times because I know I saw Catching Fire a few times in the theaters when it came out because it was great, and I really loved that one. That one's definitely going to be the best one for a long time. You can go see Mockingjay. I would see it just to...
Especially if you've seen the rest of them.
I would recommend going to see it just to end out the series because it is worth it. I mean, it does justice to the series and you get closure on all your characters, everything like that. So I thought it was good. It was a good enough end for the series. Mm-hmm. You know, nothing too spectacular. But we also saw Pixar's new movie, The Good Dinosaur, which this is the first year that Pixar has released 2 films in the same year due to The Good Dinosaur was getting pushed back. But that put Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur in the same year. And now, if I'm correct, I think Pixar's plan is to do 2 films every year.
I hope so.
Now, I really enjoyed The Good Dinosaur. I shed a few tears, as I do in most Pixar movies. I'm a sucker for that. But in The Good Dinosaur, it's not as for the whole family as most Pixar movies are. What this one's about is that Arlo, is that the that's the name?
Yeah, Arlo.
Arlo is this dinosaur. He's kind of the runt of his family. He's small. He really wants to earn his place. He's kind of a coward. Like, he's not very brave or anything like the rest of his family. And so he's really, like, struggling with that and really wants to earn his place. And some tragedy happens.
Of course.
With the Pixar. And Arlo goes on an adventure and he meets this human, Spot, who plays kind of the dog character. It's kind of like a dog and his boy story, but the dinosaur is the boy and the boy is the dog. It's very cute. This Pixar movie is more for just kids than any other Pixar movie that I've seen in recent. It's the one that I can think of the most that is most for kids. So it's less for like the whole family. Like, adults aren't going to connect to this one as much because it's very much a lesson type movie, but it's still enjoyable. It's very cute. Like I said, I cried, so I obviously connected emotionally with it. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch this adventure, but it's not going to go down in history as Pixar's top 10 or anything like that. Like Inside Out definitely will. Inside Out was definitely the strong one for Pixar this year. Ashley, what do you think of The Good Dinosaur?
I liked it. And that's like as much as I can really say about it, except for the animation is gorgeous. Like, the scenery, the background scenes, they look real. Like, they look like they went out to these places, shot it, and then like put the other characters in there. And which it really, when I first saw the movie, I was like, that was kind of weird looking because the characters, like the dinosaurs and all they look cartoony. But the more I thought about it, it really just made them pop and also brought attention to the background, which I really liked. I just love the animation in this movie. And the story, I mean, it was, it's pretty run-of-the-mill, like Pixar, little adventure, little side missions, you know what I mean? Like, it was cute, but, I guess a little bit forgettable.
Yeah, I would agree on the forgettable aspect. I mean, because like I said, it won't go down in history as one of Pixar's best movies of all time, but it's Pixar. So when they do something that's decent, we're like, oh, come on. But it's still great compared to a ton of other of the animated movies that come out. Pixar always delivers without fail. So I think they did a really good job with The Good Dinosaur, and it was great that it got put out there because it's very cute and it's definitely good to take kids to, everything like that. And it is enjoyable for everyone. Just like I said, not as much so as other Pixar movies.
It was sweet. It was a sweet Thanksgiving movie for the families to go out to see, I liked it.
It was cute.
Because not everybody's wanting to go see The Night Before, which we still haven't seen, but I really want to.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to catch that one over Christmas break. This is actually, I don't think I mentioned, this is our last show of the semester. Finals next week. Good luck to everybody out there on your finals. Now, the Batman vs. Superman trailer has dropped. It premiered on Jimmy Kimmel, and I really liked it. Ashley, I know you had problems with Lex Luthor and Jesse Eisenberg's character, so why don't you tell us what you did not like about it?
Okay, so the trailer opens. it's got this kind of ominous tone, this kind of like back and forth between Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. And it was really cool to see that. And then all of a sudden this squeaky, cartoony voice comes in there, and it's Lex Luthor, and he's like, "Ah, boys, I'm so happy you met." Like, it was, I don't know, it just seems so out of place to me, and it just killed the mood for me. As the trailer went on and you heard more from his character, I liked it more, but that beginning was just so jarring to me. I don't know. I liked the trailer. I'm going to see the movie, but I just see Zack Snyder all over this because he did direct it, and I am not a fan of Zack Snyder at all. I did not like Man of Steel. I thought it was ridiculous and slow. And then at the end, the 45-minute fight scene just, it was, I can't sit there and watch mindless action for 12 minutes without any character development. I just can't. And that's what Zack Snyder does. He is so style over substance, and I don't like it. I was hoping that it was maybe going to be a different turn with this one, and it kind of doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, I agree with some of the things you're saying, and I do agree with a lot about Zack Snyder being style over substance, because his movies look great. Like, they're spectacles, you know, like the action is really good. However, I do agree, having 15 minutes of people fighting and nothing else going on is kind of boring to watch, even though there's a ton happening. Now, I disagree about Lex Luthor. What I think his character's supposed to be that way. He's supposed to be that awkward, creepy, socially awkward being that is in the film. I think that's how he's supposed to be, so I liked that in the trailer. What I didn't like is the things that you're saying, like, from Zack Snyder, that I probably just will never like. The only, but I have promise from this movie, Batman vs. Superman, because Ben Affleck is playing Batman, he can now direct
Oh my gosh.
a Batman movie, because you know that Ben Affleck did not sign on to be Batman without saying, okay, but I'm going to direct one of these movies, because he is a phenomenal director.
I think he's a better director than he is an actor, in my opinion. I love Ben Affleck, though.
I think he has great talent in both fields. I loved Gone Baby Gone. I haven't seen the other one that he did. I've seen Argo, but
The Town.
I haven't seen The Town, but I love Gone Baby Gone as well as Argo. Those are two great. Argo won Best Picture. So really what I saw out of this Batman vs. Superman trailer was possibilities for later Batman movies, just because seeing Ben Affleck as Batman really gives me hope for him, because just the acting, he doesn't even say much, but the acting that he does just on his face when he's looking at Superman.
The little smirk he gives.
And the anger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, Ben Affleck, I think he's going to kill it. I was happy, but also a little skeptical when he was cast as Batman, because I love Christian Bale's Batman. But seeing this trailer and seeing him act, he's going to be great as Batman. Can't say how the movie's going to be, but he's going to be great.
Yeah, and just back to Zack Snyder's little style at the end. And I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer and you're listening to this, I mean, it's a trailer. I don't think you can really spoil a trailer. But, like, the last shot of the trailer with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman standing there, it was just so cheesy to me. I was like, whoa, that's a little heavy-handed. I did not like that last shot. I thought it was stupid.
That one looked a little specifically for the trailer, though.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like. It looked like to me that it was for the trailer. I think it'll be a little different in the movie and how they present that. But, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I liked it. But it's not one of my most anticipated movies of next year or anything. I'll definitely be more intrigued to see Deadpool. That's the superhero movie that I want to see. I think that's going to be great. It's R-rated. It'll be hilarious. Ryan Reynolds, it's really a passion project for him. So that's the one that I'll definitely be looking forward to next year. But I mean, I'm definitely going to be in one of the seats for Batman vs. Superman as well.
Yeah, and I would just like to add, I wanted Jesse Eisenberg to play Lex Luthor. I was so excited for it because I thought that he was going to show some range and we were going to get something different from him, and we just didn't, and that was another reason that I was disappointed. Yeah, I just wanted to add that because I was so excited because I love Jesse Eisenberg. If you haven't seen him in The Double, go on Netflix and watch The Double because it's amazing.
Yeah, I understand that because I know, Ashley, you were online defending Jesse Eisenberg, like saying things to other people in the movie community that we are in online, and just being like, no, Jesse Eisenberg's fantastic, and I really love your passion behind it. And now it's sad to see your disappointment.
It's coming back to bite me in the butt. I'm upset.
But hey, you might change your mind when you see the movie. So,
Yeah.
like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. The trailer was good, not great in our opinion, but so the holidays are coming up. I know that everybody's going to be snuggled up under blankets and watching Netflix. What else? It's going to be great holiday break where you can cuddle up underneath a blanket and watch a good movie. And we have some great movies. Everyone, please refer back to all our other episodes. They're on YouTube at the Cinema Twins. And you can look at our Should You Stream It sections, and that's what you're going to be watching over this Netflix break, I hope. It's renamed the Netflix break, according to me, apparently. So the ones that we want to talk about today, first off, People, Places, Things. It's a film that's on Netflix. It's an independent romantic comedy. We've talked about the main actor before when we discussed What We Do in the Shadows. His name's Jermaine Clement. I think that's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And he is great in this movie. Automatically, a movie with a good dad is just going to be better and more enjoyable to watch. It's great. He plays a dad of two twin girls. They're young, and I think they're 6. And him and their mom get divorced, and she is going to marry another guy and everything like that, and he's struggling with that, and he teaches like graphic novel, like how to make like graphic novels at a college, and he kind of starts to befriend one of his students' moms. And that's the premise of this movie, and it's just so enjoyable to watch. It's funny and witty, and I really think you'll have a great time watching it. In my opinion, this movie is what romantic comedies should be.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, what do you think about this?
I loved this movie. I loved it. I always tell people, excuse me, I always tell people that I hate romantic comedies. And then I see stuff like this and 500 Days of Summer and kind of Trainwreck too. I really love Trainwreck, but like this movie, like you said, it's what romantic comedies should be because it is clever. It's not grotesque, and it's not cheesy. It is very real. It feels like real characters, even if I guess they are a little bit amplified as to what it would be, but it's still, they feel like real people. And I love when a movie can do that for me, and I love when a movie can make me hate a character. Like I hate his ex-wife. Or girlfriend. I don't think they were ever married, but it makes me so angry. And if a movie can do that to me, then, it's good in my book. And it's just so cute. It's a sweet movie.
Oh, it's so sweet, and like you love watching it, and like you said, the characters are so believable, and you relate to them. Like you see the pain that he's going through, and you think, I've been there. Like I feel what he's feeling. Maybe not the same exact situation, obviously, but you feel for him, and you just want him to be happy, and you hope that he makes the right decisions throughout the film that is going to be better for him in the long run, and you just really want to scream at him and let him know, everything will be okay. It'll work out this way. It's so great to watch. I could watch this movie 8 more times.
Me too.
And not get tired of it. I loved it. It's so good to watch. And it's these small independent movies that are on Netflix that I see and I'm just blown away by. And I always wish that more people knew about it, more people have seen it and things like that, which is why I love Netflix, because it gives audiences access to these movies that otherwise they would never come across, ever.
And the movie's just so great, especially with him being a graphic novelist, and like you see him drawing things, and it kind of is a window into what he's feeling, and his drawings are so good, and it was a really great movie. I would definitely recommend sitting down and watching this, like with your family, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, like anybody. It's just so great, and just a feel good movie. I really loved it.
It is. It'll really make you smile through most of the entire movie. His daughters are adorable. They're just the cutest little kids.
They're good actors too. Like sometimes kid actors can kill a movie, but they were really good.
Oh yeah, they found some great little girls to play these two twins, and you see the love that they have for both of their parents, as kids do, and it's sad, you like feel for these little girls, because it's like they're going through something that can be difficult, when your parents split up and you love both of them, but you don't know what to do and things like that. It's very believable. It's real. It's sweet. All the things that we've said. Definitely go check this one out. Like Ashley said, you can watch it with anybody. I highly recommend it. It's been one of my favorite movies that I've seen on Netflix in a good bit.
It's one of my favorite movies this year, because it did come out this year. So.
Oh, definitely. I really agree with that. And I'd be excited to see Jermaine in more movies like this.
Me too.
He's great. Like, I usually see him in, flat out comedic roles. This is a comedy, but it's more down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
And
you get more of his dramatic chops in here.
Yeah, and he's great. He definitely showed his dramatic chops, and it's definitely one to go watch. The next one that we want to talk about is a horror movie. My personal favorite horror movie I've ever seen, hands down. That's saying a lot. I like cheesy horror movies. Like, I like dumb ones that are just going to jump scare. Like, I don't mind jump scares because, I just like to be scared, no matter how you can do it. But this one is so different, and it's a genuinely great film. Not just a great horror movie, it's a genuinely great film. It was one of my favorite movies of 2014, and it's, like I said, my favorite horror movie of all time. Tell us what you thought about it.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't like jump scares. I think it's a cheap way to make money, honestly. I think it's I'm sorry. I think that it's lazy in movies, like if your movie's, slowing down, let's throw in a jump scare. You know what? That's stupid. And The Babadook does not do that. It's fantastic. And what it's about is this mom, she is grieving from the loss of her husband, and she's having to deal with this little kid who is terrible. He is a horrible child. He is one of the reasons that I don't want to have kids. He really is awful. But you start to feel for him throughout the movie because it's amazing. And really, it's just, she finds this book, this children's pop-up book in his room, and it's called The Babadook. And she opens it up, and then once she does that, weird things start to happen, and maybe she starts to go a little crazy, and it's really fantastic. And what I loved about this movie, like I said, limited jump scares, because it uses the atmosphere to make you feel down. There's a sense of dread throughout the whole movie from the opening shot. It's fantastic.
Definitely, and that's a credit to the director.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what her name is.
I think it's Jennifer Kent.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Jennifer
sure.
something. But yeah, she did a great job with building the suspense and the creepy atmosphere that you feel throughout the film. And my favorite thing about this movie is that it's a monster movie without being a monster movie.
Mm-hmm. It's a monster movie with a deeper meaning. It's so great. I love this movie. I love showing it to people. It's because when you're expecting to show people a horror movie, they're expecting the jump scares, and it's like you don't really get that with The Babadook, and some people don't like it. I've heard some people say it's boring. People who don't like good movies, though, so. But Jennifer Kent, it did direct it. I knew it. I was right. What was your favorite part of the Babadook?
I wouldn't say I have a singular favorite part. My favorite thing about the Babadook is what you said, the deeper meaning behind this monster, because it's something that people deal with. It just really, you really need to watch the movie. This one's kind of difficult to have a discussion about without talking about how the movie ends.
And spoiling it. Which, that is my favorite part of the movie. The ending. The finale's fantastic.
The finale is incredible. Some people don't like it, but in my opinion, that's if you don't understand and appreciate what they were trying to do with this film. It really shows the pain that families go through and how it can really tear families apart when you lose someone. It's like you're not just losing that one person in the family. It's like you lose little pieces of everyone else in the family as well. And it's such an amazing movie to watch. And it's very entertaining because it is a horror movie and you're terrified through it. It's a horror movie with a deeper meaning that scares you, which is very difficult to do, and you don't see it a lot nowadays.
It is, and I really do love it, but before I saw it, I heard a lot of people saying, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. It wasn't to me.
That's overhyping it.
Yeah, the imagery is creepy, and, like, I really love the atmosphere that it creates, but it's not, I don't want to tell people it's so scary. You know, I don't really watch it for the scares. I watch it for the fantastic filmmaking and really just, like I said, the background story that's kind of happening in this house.
The acting is great as well. The main woman who plays the mom is great as she goes through dealing with this monster that's trying to kind of infiltrate her life. She plays it phenomenally. It's really great to watch. And I was scared throughout the movie, but it's not like a jumping out of my seat scared. It's a dread that I feel in my soul, kind of scared. That's how I felt about the Babadook, at least.
Definitely.
Ashley wants to talk to us today about one of my favorite foreign films, and definitely one that everyone should check out, called City of God. It's also on Netflix, if anyone's interested after our discussion.
Yes, I love City of God so much, and I think it's actually my favorite foreign film, like, that I've ever seen. I haven't seen many, but I can say that that's my favorite of the ones that I have seen. I mean, what it's about these two boys that are growing up in Rio de Janeiro, and when they split off, like, and they start growing up, one of them becomes a drug dealer, and the other one gets really into photography. And it is such an interesting, heartbreaking, and real story. And I do say real because it's a true story. Forgot to mention that, but it's just so good, and it really gives you a glimpse into the eyes of these people that live in Rio de Janeiro and are around all of these gangs and everything that happens. And it is so good. It's hard to watch at times, but it's worth the watch. It's fantastic.
Oh, I love it. I was blown away when I first saw this movie. The directing is what really struck me. I immediately saw the style mixture of someone like Martin Scorsese
and Tarantino.
And Quentin Tarantino. Like, because the violence, there's a lot of violence in it, and it's all very hyper realistic, I guess. It is realistic, but it's very stylized, like Tarantino. And then the story structure definitely follows something that Martin Scorsese likes to do a lot. So, which is the rise and the fall of his characters. It's so interesting to watch, and it's so hard to watch. There are some scenes in this movie that really make you cringe, and you think, oh, I don't want to watch this, but the thing about it is that these things happen. So it's important that movies document these things, and because people watch movies, I think, more than they're going to watch a documentary. Typically, I love documentaries, but So I think it's important that movies show the realistic side and these things that actually happen in everyone's lives that are terrible, and the kind of lives that these people live in these ghetto parts in Rio de Janeiro that have the drug dealing going on and the turf wars between the drug dealers and things like that. It's very hard to watch, but it's important to watch.
This movie it's so special, and I think that a lot of people pass up these foreign films because they don't want to read subtitles and stuff like that. But it's so worth the watch. Like, it's not hard to read.
And 10 minutes into the movie, you're already used to the subtitles, and then you're just engulfed in the story. So I think it's definitely worth it. I don't mind subtitles. I never have. But I understand why people don't like them. However, you're missing out on tons of amazing foreign films that are better sometimes than movies that we have in the U.S. And it's fantastic, and everyone should definitely watch it. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's on Netflix. So it's a crime if you don't just go check this movie out. It's fantastic.
And I honestly don't know how much longer it's going to be on there, because it's been on there for a while. Like, and I know what happened with me with Taxi Driver is I was like, oh, Taxi Driver's on Netflix. Can't wait to watch that. And then I went to go watch it one day, and it was gone. So
yeah, Netflix is pretty sneaky. They'll pull some movies that you really want to see off of there, which is why you should jump on this one and check it out as soon as you can. It's fantastic. The world that is created through the lens of not only the camera, but the camera that our main character holds, because he is a photographer. He wants to photograph these things for the newspaper in his in the city, and he captures these violent things, but the newspaper's into it because, hey, the people need to know what's really going on and how severe the problem actually is. And it does such an incredible job of telling the story of these two boys through narration and the action and everything that they do with the characters. And you really get to know these characters, and you're scared for them, and you feel bad that they live in this place that provides them with so many opportunities to be in danger. And it's really hard to watch, and it's hard to think about people who actually have to live like that.
And you see them going down these paths, and you're just like, I want you to turn around. I want you to put down the gun. I want you to just stop.
It's horrible and so sad to see these young kids handed guns. It's really difficult to watch, and they hand them a gun and say, shoot this person.
It's terrifying. And one of the characters in this movie is just so evil, and you feel that, and it's hard because you see him from a child to when they grow up, and he just becomes so evil, and you see that, like, some people are just born that way.
Yeah, and it's hard to look at a child and know what they were like as a child and say that is evil. You know, that's bad. That's not a good person. It's hard to do that when you see a child, and this movie puts you in that tough situation. But as I've said about everything in this film, it's important. It's so good. It's really incredible to watch. And it's in Portuguese, if anybody was curious of the language. But I really love this movie. Netflix, I can't say it enough. Please go check it out. Now, the movie that I want to discuss today is also on Netflix, and it's a movie you might have missed, starring Michael B. Jordan and directed by Ryan Coogler. It's called Fruitvale Station. However, a movie that just came out this week that Ashley and I are going to see on Thursday is also starring Michael B. Jordan and is also directed by Ryan Coogler, and that is Creed. Now, you know that you have to make something good to have a studio pay attention to you and say, yeah, okay, you can make Creed, a new Rocky movie. So Fruitvale Station is where that started. Fruitvale Station is about, it's a very small, contained story. It all happens within, I think it's like
1 day.
Yeah, 1 day. Which I love. Contained stories are some of my favorite movies to watch because you're just dropped into someone's life and you get all this information thrown at you, but it works and you care about them, especially in this film. You see what Michael B. Jordan's character is doing, trying to provide for the family that he has at a young age and work through social problems that are presented, and it brings up very controversial issues, especially things that have happened since this movie was made. It makes this movie all the more real to watch and more difficult to watch because you know things like this happen all the time. And it is a true story. So
Brady did not know that fact, apparently, even though it says it at the beginning of the movie. It tells you what's going to happen at the very beginning of the movie, and with some cell phone footage that was taken from the actual day that this story tells at Fruitvale Station. It's a really powerful and moving story. It has a lot to do, like you were saying, with what's going on today, because things do happen, because this did happen.
Apparently.
And it's heartbreaking to watch this man going through his day and knowing what's going to happen to him. It is the saddest, and Michael B. Jordan's acting is unbelievable. He takes you into this person and he just makes you love him, even though you see him do like not making the best decisions, and they show you that this guy, he wasn't perfect, but he did not deserve to have what happened to him happen to him. He just didn't. And it's such a beautiful story. Well, beautifully told by the director, Ryan Coogler, and it's worth a watch, as like Bray was saying, especially with everything that's happening today with the cops and brutality and everything like that. It's such a important movie to watch, just like City of God, because it opens your eyes.
It does, and it brings up a very difficult discussion, but it's a discussion that needs to be had, and I think the problem with the discussion is that everyone is wanting to say this side's all bad or this side is all bad. But that's not the case. I mean, it's a case-by-case basis so that you have to look at. And this movie just really sheds light on the controversial issue by telling you a small, contained story about this one person that you really grow to care about through Ryan Coogler's directing and Michael B. Jordan's acting, which is impossible to ignore. He's fantastic. Some argued he should have gotten a nomination for this movie, but I think it was just too small. Not enough people heard about it.
It was a heavy year, too.
Yes, and the Academy ignored it, which is fine. It was a heavy year, but this one is really important to watch, and definitely go check out Creed as well, directed and starring same people. I'm very excited to see it. It's been one of my most anticipated movies of this year.
I cannot wait to see Creed. I am so excited for this movie because I just watched Rocky for the first time a couple of days ago, and I loved that movie. I thought it was so great. It was not what I was expecting it to be from everything that I've heard about the Rocky franchise. Like, I think the Rocky franchise, from what I've heard, because I've only seen the first one so far, kind of lost itself. But when you go back to that first one, it's so powerful.
And from everything I've heard about Creed is that that's what it does. It takes it back to what Rocky was in the beginning, but you're seeing now Creed's story, which is Apollo's son, Adonis. And it's so... I cannot wait. As soon as I heard Michael B. Jordan was playing Creed, I was in. I'm a huge fan of Michael B. Jordan. The first time I saw him was in Chronicle, my favorite found footage movie. And then I saw him on Parenthood, and then go on to Fruitvale Station. And when Fruitvale Station hit, I was like, this guy is someone really to watch. and now he's in Creed, and he's gonna be a huge star.
And incidentally, Chronicle, directed by Josh Trank.
Let's not talk about it.
Where I think that in Creed, Michael B. Jordan is definitely going to wipe away his Fantastic Four debt. And I don't know. I feel bad for Josh Trank.
I feel very bad for Josh Trank, and here's why. It wasn't his fault that Fantastic Four turned out the way it did. They locked him out of the editor's booth. They cut out 3 huge action sequences. I didn't see Fantastic Four because I didn't think it was going to be worth my money at all from everything that I've heard. I heard it was just a huge mess, but I don't think that should be put all on Josh Trank.
Me either, but I really hope that Josh Trank can do something else in the future, like to bring himself back. Because I really feel bad because after that whole Fantastic Four debacle, they pulled him off Star Wars. He left the project supposedly, but I'm not sure that that's what happened. But I don't know. I think that the guy's a good director, especially with Chronicle. I think that he deserves another chance. I really hope he's not locked out of Hollywood forever.
I also am a big proponent of him getting another chance because I think he took a genre of found footage and really did something different with Chronicle, especially with the way he used their powers to move the camera in ways that you can't really get with a found footage movie. It was amazing. Little off topic coming from Fruitvale Station, but just had to put that out there. But with Fruitvale Station, definitely check it out. It's also on Netflix. Because this is how we find a lot of these movies that you probably missed is just going through Netflix.
Or Vudu.
Yes, or Vudu, Ashley's favorite site. But just go on Netflix. Look at the smaller movies, the indies, the smaller dramas, not just the big blockbusters that you can sometimes find on there. It's definitely something that you should check out. Everybody, thanks for listening to our show today. We would like to ask everyone to go on Facebook and like our Facebook page, which is the Cinema Twins on WGUR 95.3. Go on YouTube and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Cinema Twins, and follow us on Instagram at The Cinema Twins. We put little sneak peeks of what we're going to be talking about with each episode every week. This is our last show of the semester. I hope y'all have enjoyed listening to us ramble about movies. We've had
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. We didn't mention him this episode. Shout out to Jake Gyllenhaal, as always.
For being amazing. I forgot.
Yes, we almost left it there that episode.
I just want to say that we have enjoyed doing this so much. This has been such a good 5 episodes, but we're going to be back next semester. We'll probably do some stuff over the break. Probably some small movie reviews and stuff like that. We really love doing this. Thank everyone so much for listening.
Yes, thank you so much. And those reviews or talks that we'll have over the break will go up on our YouTube channel, so please be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much. You've been listening to The Cinema Twins on WGUR 95.3 The Noise.